This is a repair video on the next in my series of rescuing old neglected mowers, and I think we're into the is it the V's? No. Anyway, I've got to name this mower, and I'm thinking we're on the Wanda. I guess this would be Xena, like the Xena the Warrior Princess spelled with an X. Sun's coming in on me this afternoon, so I don't have my camera the usual place I do. But here we are. This is a another one of those HYPERTOUGH mowers, made in China. The deck is made in China. There's several things wrong with this mower. Let's take a look at it and see what we're dealing with. One of the first things I did was I put this cord in the right spot on this eye hook, but it's too big. As you can see, it wants to slide over. So what I do is I get this and put it on about a 1/4 inch piece of sheet steel and get out a big hammer and knock this thing down where it's more like an eye hook and a little less U-shaped, because it goes over too far. See, that if you tighten it up, it's going to pinch the rope, so we don't want that. So I'm going to have to work on that. And a lot of these decks like this, they're pretty cheap, and so they tend to wobble up and down. See that how it moves on the frame. So I will be addressing that. I'll either tighten that. There's usually a little 1/4 inch diameter screw down here that can be tightened up. But I think there's also a flat piece that goes into the deck that often rusts off, and that's why these things will wobble. So I'm going to have to repair that, because it drives me crazy for it to go, the whole handle to go up and down like that. You see that little screw right there that comes out and helps stabilize this. But yeah, there's the little flat piece in there that helps attach it to the deck. So it may be they just get hogged out, you know, and wobble around. So we've got to figure out a way to pin that down, either drill another hole or just improve that. Let's see. Yeah, the light makes it difficult, but we're going to try and firm that up a little. Obviously, this thing is left out in the rain, in the weather. I have no idea if it's going to run or not. It seems to have compression. Let's try it again. It's not much. If it does have compression, it's not a lot. So we'll see. You got to get that cord so it doesn't come off. Whoever owned it last, I got this from a guy that buys auctioned off storage units, and he gets mowers all the time, he said. So he's probably going to become a resource. You can see all the filth and dirt where somebody's run this with no air filter, or just left it out in the weather. Probably both. It's got a lot of dirt and mud all over it. There's your sticker. It's a 20-inch cut, model number HT180940032-0. And I think somewhere on there in small print it says made in China. So I'm going to clean a lot of the dirt and mud off of this thing. And before I go too far, I may squirt a little bit of starter fluid in there just to see if it fires and see if it's worth trying to repair. I've not checked the oil yet. Let's do that. If it's got oil in it, that'll be a positive sign. These drive me crazy the way you have to come in at an angle and get this thing out, because it's just not easy to get to. So at least we can get it started. So let's take a look at this, see if it's got any oil in it. Got my fingers crossed. Yes, it does. It doesn't look too bad. Condition-wise, it's not, horribly black or anything, which can be a sign of a blown head gasket. But this one doesn't appear to have that. See, this is what I hate about these. They doesn't line up if you put the screwdriver in there. So let me see if I can get it started with my fingers, which I hate doing, because I haven't checked underneath to see if there's black widows up in there. I deal with a lot of black widows on these old mowers that have been left outside, because black widows like to get up under things. They get up on the underside of things. They don't just stay out in the open where you can see them. They're hiding up under the edges, like up under the edge of a rewinder. That's a good place to hide. All right, so we got that going. There used to be a little safety cover on this to keep people from touching the muffler, but that's sort of overkill. As you know, most of these simple little mowers don't have that. So I'm left with the remnants of that, which are a great thing to cut yourself on. So I'm going to get a 1/4 inch and we're going to take those out. There was no spark plug in here, which of course worried me. There's no telling what's blown up in there. I had an old ugly spark plug here I put in it just to check for compression. And it appears to have some. Obviously somebody's worked on this, because it says HYPERTOUGH, but then it says Poulan Pro on the cover. So someone's probably changed out the rewinder at some point. It's missing one of the 5/16 screw that hold it down. Those are the two that have it attached. So let's put this thing in the holder. Let's put this phone in the holder and let's start working a little bit on Xena. She needs a bath for sure. Let me get my gloves on. A lot of dirt on this thing. I want to get a 1/4 inch socket. And first of all, first thing is to get those pieces off so I don't cut myself. Work on this mower. They don't serve any purpose whatsoever in terms of attaching this muffler to the mower. That's done with that screw and that screw. These just held that little cover on, so we're going to get those off and throw these little pieces away. I guess I'll put the little screws back in, but they're not necessary. I guess I'll just leave them off. It's not adding anything without that little safety cover. So now it's just like a regular little push mower. Let's get these two 5/16 screws out and scare off whatever might be living under here. Working on Xena the Warrior Princess. It is a beautiful day here in South Carolina. Great day to work on mowers. And I just love doing this. I don't know why I enjoy getting these old, sad, neglected mowers and trying to bring them back to life. I have a real good success rate. All right. I don't see any mice yet. Let's see. No wasp nest. No black widows. Okay, there's one problem. If you guys make sure you can see that. There's only one dog on there. So I have to find one to replace this rewinder. Probably pull it with one dog, but why not repair it? Okay, and I've got the engine brake bailed down, and it is not. It's just barely clearing the kill switch, so it would be. I'll have to. It looks. I think he's replaced this. It looks like somebody has. For some reason, they tied a piece of string or something around here. I don't know what that is. Get that off. But I'm going to work with this cable because it's not clearing that enough when you compress it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Oh, I got. He had a zipper on here. Okay, so now let's take a look at it. It's real hard to pull down, or pretty hard to pull down. It just doesn't clear enough. You want it to clear a little more than that. It'll probably start, but I mean, it is so close. Let me show you. That is so close. Right, where are you? Right there. See that little piece that moves? See, it has to clear that electrical connection for it to run, and there is a gap there, but it is super tiny. And you bump something or whatever, and it'll start trying to shut off. And the other part is that engine brake is right there. It's not touching, so that's good. I mean, but that can be improved on, so I'll be trying to do that. Okay, the other thing I wanted you to see is, you guys that work on mowers, you'll love this. This is the blade, and there's not much left of it. I mean, that is a lot of sheared off there. So that blade will come off, and it won't be easy to get it off because I usually put a little wooden block over there and clamp it to the side of the deck, but this blade has been hacked off so much that it may not even touch that. So I could end up having to use an impact wrench, which I hate to do. I just am not a big fan of that because you hold it wrong or get the angle wrong, and you end up scoring the head of that screw that attaches the blade, and then you got problems. But speaking of problems, this mower's got problems. So we're gonna have to deal with that. Hang on a second, I'm gonna set the phone down. All right, so there's a lot of debris that's gonna have to come off of there too. So that's where we are with Xena the Warrior Princess little HYPERTOUGH lawnmower with a Briggs and Stratton engine. I assume it's probably 120, 125 cc. You can't go by this because this rewinder did not come with this mower. 125 cc 450E was what that one came off of. All right. Well, stay tuned for episode 2, which will be coming out soon.